is the Friday briefing now. It's about that time where we get to learn proper pronunciation from Willice, the word master. Let's now cross over and join him. Willice, what words do you have for us?
Well, that has been a lovely and punchy briefing, and it's now our time to get to good English pronunciations. And it means we have to go straight to our collections of the week. We have our first word, which is a noun, and it refers to the line which competitors or players in the game of darts have to stand behind. When they are throwing the darts, they have to stand behind that line. That line is given this word. And can you try it wherever you are? This word is tricky, not very common, but you say Oche, and Oche, O-C-H-E, Oche. That is the way to pronounce the word. I've explained that it refers to that line which players have to stand behind as they play darts. Darts. But let's get to our second word. Our second word is common, and it's also a noun referring to an object or a device that is used in attacking somebody or in fighting. And many people find themselves saying weapon. But weapon, no. You say weapon. Remember, you also say weapons. That is the plural of weapon is weapons. Then we have weaponry. What we avoid? Weapon, weapons, weaponry. No. We say weapon, weapons, and weaponry. Let's get to our next word. It's not very common, but it refers to a main road or street in a town or a city. And you say thoroughfare. Thoroughfare. Don't say thoroughfare. You say thoroughfare. That is the way to pronounce this word. Let's get to the next one, and it's also not, very, very common, but anyway, it's common because when we talk about so-and-so is a coward, we talk of cowardly, but now the tricky word is this one when it has that I-C-E, and we're talking about fear or lack of courage. Now, you say cowardice, cowardice. Don't say cowardice because of that I-C-E. We have the word ice, but this word is pronounced cowardice. Just like you don't say prejudice, you say prejudice. Let's get to our next word. It's fairly long, but it's an adjective meaning under the ground, under the ground. Now, this word, you say subterranean, subterranean. Just like you also say Mediterranean, subterranean, Mediterranean. That is the way to pronounce that word. Then let's get to our next word. Tricky, tricky and not very common, but manageable. Now, this one is an adjective, and it's used to describe a place or a building that looks pretty. So, you say picturesque, picturesque. Don't say picturesque. Picturesque, very common. Statuesque, picturesque. So, get it right or get them right. Let's get to the next one, which I want you just to try wherever you are. Can you try it? Dear viewers, we learn sometimes by trying. And when we make a mistake, we should never be so much concerned about it, because to err is human and we all make mistakes, whoever you are, and sometimes accidentally or unknowingly. Now, how do you pronounce this one? You say peasant, peasant. You would agree with me that when we grow up locally, we commonly hear peasant, peasant, and innocently pick that. We find ourselves saying peasant like a peasant farmer, but that is not the way to pronounce this word. The correct pronunciation is peasant, peasant. Just like you say pleasant, pleasant, not pleasant. Now, let's get to a word that is a bit tricky, and it's right here. It's a noun, and it means anxious care for somebody's or somebody else's comfort. That anxious care for somebody's comfort. You say solicitude, solicitude. That is simply the way to pronounce it. You also say attitude, attitude, not attitude. Attitude, solicitude, no. Solicitude, attitude. Now, let's get to our last word. It's common, and I just have to dedicate this to all the learners in our lovely country, Kenya. Now, can you say this one, learners, wherever you are? Well, that O is silent. It's a very common word for that animal, the wild animal. But many people say leopard innocently, because that is what we commonly hear, leopard. But please avoid that. You say leopard, a leopard. Just like jeopardy, not jeopardy. Jeopardize, not jeopardize. And we have the name Leonard. Leonard. Don't say Leonard. Leonard, no. Leonard. Otherwise, we go now straight to our feedback for the week, those who sent in words. Peter Maro of Maseno Police Station, you have just to get it right every time and keep it up. Then we have Jane and Regan of Kahawa West, Nairobi. You say pharaoh. Pharaoh, not pharaoh. Jewelry. Jewelry, not jewelry or jewelry. You say jewelry. Then triumphantly. We have also Sheena Gadomi Kubai and Joy Penguin. You say penguin. Penguin, not penguin. Now we have Ibra Maro. Ibra Maro of Nakuru. Your name is very close to that of Peter Maro of Maseno Police Station, but this is Ibra Maro of Nakuru. You say formulae. Formulae. That is the plural form, formulae. You get that? We come to somebody here who is really, really interesting. Justus Ondari. Keep it up, my brother. Keep it up, because you're watching Mind Your Language on KTN, and the way you love English, just keep it up, because it's interesting to learn all that sometimes you ask when it comes to feedback. Keep it up. You say diapers in British English, diapers. But please remember, in American English or American pronunciation, you say diapers, diapers, diapers. Just like hierarchy, hierarchy when we talk about the British English. Hierarchy, we have that triphthong, the glide on 3 vowel sounds. But when you come to American pronunciation, you'll hear of hierarchy. Now, we have Kevin Malanga of Kakamega. You say repugnance. Kevin Malanga, repugnance. Then we have John M. Waidaka of Nyeri. Haven, don't say haven. Haven or haven. Hyperbole, not hyperbole. Then you say succinct. Succinct, if you like, succinct. Then your last word, veterinary or veterinary. Veterinary or veterinary. Then we have Rispa Atieno of Mombasa. It makes me remember Kadzozo or Kadzozo. That is Moi Girls in Kilifi. Rispa Atieno, you say patisserie. Patisserie for, that shop that sells cakes and all that. Mohammed Hassan of Kisii County, the county government of Kisii. Mohammed Hassan, also keep it up. Your word, soldier, soldier. Don't say soldier when you're talking English. I think I even handled this word not long time ago, but please, you say soldier in English. Locally or casually, you may find yourself saying a soldier, soldier, but please, soldier is the pronunciation of that word. Now, the next person is Engineer Otieno Ratila of Ringa Kojuach. Ringa Kojuach, Engineer Otieno Ratila, you say though, though, with the voiced sound th. When I talk about voiced sounds, I'm referring to sounds which are produced with the vibration of the vocal cords. So you say though, and your second word, although, not although and though, no. You say though and although. Then we have manyeki, manyeki. You say floor for sakafu, floor, F-L-O-O-R. But unga, you say flour, that is F-L-O-U-R. Floor, sakafu, flour, unga. The next person is from Kabartonjo, Baringo County, that is Robert Somolong. You say really, really, or really. Tricky, really and really as alternatives. Then we have Matthews Wamwendwa of Machakos. You say espionage, espionage. Don't say espionage, espionage. So that is the way to go. Just like you also have Kennedy or Kenneth Mutoro. He wants to know chauffeur, chauffeur. Don't say chauffeur, don't say chauffeur. a chauffeur. And then you have also your word follow. Follow, tricky. Mwalimu Vidija Dalizu of Eldoret, gargantuan. Gargantuan. And we have gigantic. Gargantuan, gigantic. Good. Now, the next person here, this is now those who say, KTN, keep it up. We have to keep it up. And you definitely know every Friday night. Now, Nathan Kipkemboi Tirop, Bugason Aliga of Uganda, you are passing or you want to give a pat on the back to the Friday briefing presenters on KTN TV. That is Ashley Mazuri and Jesse Rogers. I believe they've got that, and keep it up in Uganda. Now we have Quintin Jr., Caleb Odipo. Now Caleb, locally we say Caleb, but I want to share with you something. That name is actually pronounced Caleb. Caleb. But saying Caleb is also just acceptable. But Odipo, Caleb, or Caleb, thank you for loving the show. And Zakina Charo of Lamu. Zakina Charo of Lamu, tell all the people in Lamu we also love you so much. Otherwise, let us now get to that part where you have just to know our surprise word for tonight. It's not a very, very rare word, but it's common. The only problem is we don't know how to say it well. We don't, I'm saying we, because we are many people who may not know. There are many people who may not know that that W is not pronounced. It's silent. So you say sword, a sword. For that crude weapon, you say a sword. Don't say sword. The moment you say sword for this word, you would be talking about something different. You'd be talking about SWARD, which means a place that is covered by grass. An area of grass is sword, SWARD. But this one, for the crude weapon, my dear friends, our dear viewers, just say a sword, sword. And then you say a swordfish, swordfish, not swordfish. Then we have those words that confuse people. And tonight, what I have for you tonight is about spelling. Now, we have the word tomorrow. Tomorrow. It has only one M, a single M. Don't use MM. Double M, no. Single M, yes. So the upper one is correct. Tomorrow with one M or a single M. Similarly, we have tremor, the word tremor. The lower word is the right one. It has a single M. Don't use MM or double M. So spellings also matter a lot, and we can always cover it for you to whichever length. I know you understand what I mean. So tomorrow, the right spelling is right here, or the right word, and tremor, the one below, with a single M. Let's get to the much asked about words. Now, we have the adjectives, long, just hear that sound, long, like in the Kiswahili word, ng'ombe, long. Then we have strong, strong, and we have young, young. But please, we say longer, longer, longest, stronger, strongest, younger, youngest. Avoid saying longer, longest, stronger, strongest, younger, youngest. Please no, avoid that, especially in a career of serious communication. Longer, longest, stronger, strongest, younger, youngest. That is the way to go, but nobody is perfect. It's always a learning experience for everybody in this world. Nobody is perfect, not even Willice. So we have to keep learning. Now, let's go to the phonetic symbols, that is the sound symbols. Tonight, we have the sounding aya, aya, and the phonetic transcription for it is right here, aya. This is what you'll get as the sound symbols when you're looking for the pronunciation of a word, and you want also to be sure from the phonetic symbols, that is the sound symbols. Just like in the word fire, fire, then higher. We have high, then the comparative is higher, higher. So you can hear that sound higher. This is the way it is transcribed to help you to know how to pronounce the word correctly. Then finally, you also say tire, tire. Now, with that, I have to focus onto something also tonight for the sake of our good viewers. When you have the word T-E, that is T-I-E-R, T-I-E-R, to mean a layer, you say tier, tier, T-I-E-R, to mean a layer, tier. But when you mean a person who ties something, from the word tie, you say tire. You get all those on KTN. Otherwise, every Friday night for the actual pronunciations, just watch Mind Your Language. That is just towards the end of Friday briefing. That punchy briefing, then good pronunciations on KTN. But you can also interact with me throughout the week. That is at Willice Oche 1. And as we say, that's about it for Mind Your Language tonight. On behalf of my able or the great cameraman, Fred Moturi, I have now to take you back to Nairobi.
All right, thank you very much, Willice. I think my favorite one, the one that shocked me today, is Oche.
Okay.
I did not see, not
Okay.
Oche.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I did not
one.
see that
Okay.
coming. But as Willice says, you never stop learning.
Sword.
Sword.
Wow.
Yeah, it's sword, not sword.
Well, we never cease learning, right?
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Willice, the word master. That's Mind Your Language, and it brings us to the tail end of the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching. And on behalf of the
Stellar crew and all of us.